All week, I've been asked this question by people. Can neurodivergence cause bias? Now, I don't know this person, never treated him, not diagnosing him, not saying that I know what is happening exactly in this picture, to be certain about it. But I can tell you with certainty that neurodivergence is not an explanation for biased behavior. An argument that I've heard that I can debunk is that some neurodivergent people, some people who have tics or Tourette's and or autistic may sometimes have involuntary verbal tics where they say something that is biased or offensive, but that is not the same as voluntarily doing something that is offensive. Some research shows that neurotypical brains may look different than neurodivergent brains in certain cases like ADHD and autism. So this is correlations, but there's nothing like that that explains biased behaviors. In fact, what we do know is that when certain people from certain cultural groups are oppressed and they experience, bias, they may actually exhibit a stress response. They may have brain changes that worsen cognitive functioning, and they may have worsened sleep. And this takes a toll on their bodies. So then I get asked, well, what does cause biased behaviors? What we do know is that when people are exposed to different cultures, then that reduces bias. We know that when people are motivated by greed and that they benefit from the oppression of certain groups, that contributes to bias. We know that segregation contributes to bias. We know that when scientific leaders make very broad statements about the hierarchy of race, this contributes to bias, and it can cause systemic bias, like what we see in medicine, where certain patients are treated worse than others and are not given adequate and appropriate treatments because of the color of their skin. Neurodivergence does not cause bias. Adults who are autistic are not inherently biased. What we do know is that bias causes negative outcomes for groups that are oppressed. So ways that you can get involved are working with organizations that are actively anti-racist. Here are some groups that you may want to check out. We can all do our part to advocate for others and for equality and inclusion. We can all do our part to advocate for our own health and our own rights. If you're feeling hopeless, you may be able to use this as an opportunity to become active. We are stronger when we work together. You don't have to do this alone. Let me know if there's another topic you want me to cover next.